Hello everyone, this is Matt Kerfman from Richmond Brothers here with your November 2019 edition of Matt's Minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Well, coming out of the Thanksgiving holiday season, some of you probably went out either shopping at midnight on Thanksgiving or early into the day on Friday that has historically become known as Black Friday. Why do I bring that into Matt's Minutes? It's a really good indicator of how the consumer feels and really are they willing to spend money. And so early indications coming off of that holiday weekend is that consumers have spent record amounts of money, which gives you a general sense that the consumer is basically alive and well. Why that's important, just for those of you who've been watching this long enough, is approximately 70% of our economic growth, GDP, gross domestic product, is dictated to us through what the consumer is doing, not what businesses are doing, not what the governments do. So basically, how the consumer feels is the consumer willing to spend money. It does give us all a sense of how consumers feel. Are they willing to keep the spending patterns up, which means the economy is still growing. So we have a pretty positive sentiment, at least initial indications there, kind of heading into the end of the year and early 2020. So that's a pretty recent thing. As far as year end going into the month of December, we've been working with many of you who are 70 and a half or older, or who have inherited IRAs and dealing with required minimum distributions. And then also a lot of you have been taking advantage of the education we provided with qualified charitable distributions. So taking some of those mandated monies that you would otherwise pay tax on, shifting them directly to a nonprofit, satisfying your RMD but not owing the tax. So we've had a lot of positive response there, and we'll continue to work with all of you at those ages into 2020 and beyond on that topic. Quick reminder, if you are considering an IRA to Roth conversion, conversions would be money coming from an existing IRA, moving it to your Roth IRA. You do not need to have work income or earned income in order to do that. So anyone, retired or not, could consider that. Now remember, anything you move from your IRA to Roth is considered taxable income. So we had talked earlier this year, it may be a consideration with tax rates as low as they are. Do you want to consider an IRA to Roth conversion? So conversions must happen by December 31st of the year you want them to count in. I say that because that's different than when you were working and you're making contributions. You actually have up until you file your taxes next year to make a contribution for this year. Conversions must be done by December 31st of the year you want them to show up on your 1099. So let us know if you have any questions. We've had a number of you reach out to process some conversions. And then as far as economics and year end and moving into 2020, this is not new information. This has been headlines for almost 2 years now, but US and China, trade wars, tariffs discussions, seemingly ongoing, seemingly unending. It seems like they will certainly carry into a hot topic for the presidential race in 2020. By the way, that may also bring its own level of uncertainty to the market. And so I think it's something we want to keep a lens on. We don't think that's going to derail market growth in the near term or economic growth, but we do want to pay attention to that. So with that in mind, I think the same path we've been continuing to discuss, slowly slicing into that equity bucket, if you will. If you looked at your performance monthly snapshots, reducing some of that equity exposure, plopping it over onto safe assets. That's just a general trend of we want to keep moving in that direction. A couple of other year-end things. We've talked many times about launching a new Richmond Brothers app, and also we have redesigned and recreated your entire portal experience. So for those of you that haven't used it, it's where you would log in to get your monthly snapshots, to share secure documents with us, and vice versa. So by January 1 of 2020, as we move into the new year, that whole system will be launched. And so just stay tuned for some information over the coming weeks in December. If you want to basically make sure you get available access to that app. I've been personally using it kind of in a beta version to test it. It's much more simplified than what you've used before on your computers and tablets, so we're excited to roll that out. And last but certainly not least, we've had a number of inquiries. Being a Jackson, Michigan firm, Consumers Energy is one of the larger employers in this area. And just this week, they sent out a notification to employees about a voluntary separation program that is being offered. And so if you or anyone you know have questions on that, I've created a separate video specific to topics around pensions, healthcare, retirement income planning. And so right to the side of this video, you'll see a link, and you're welcome to click on that. You're welcome to share it with anyone who might have questions on that topic. We're happy to be here and be a resource for those who may have to make a really big decision in the near term. So with all of that, I will sign off for the month of November, wishing you all a Merry Christmas, a great start to the new year, and a wonderful and happy holiday season. Thank you so much for being part of the Richmond Brothers family.